Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat. I'm talking with Raquel Pennington. She's facing Ashlee Evans-Smith at UFC 181 on Saturday night. And first, I really have to say thank you for doing this. I know you have a lot going on, and it's hours away from making weight. So I really do appreciate you taking the time tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So how close are you to weight? Obviously, it's the first question everybody needs to know.
Well, let's see. It's Wednesday night.
Yep.
I'm still kind of eating, about to enjoy a good meal.
Nice.
I'm sitting at about 148.
All right. Okay. Is weight cutting something? I mean, you've been an athlete, athletic all your life and stuff. Is that something though you've been able to kind of get down to a science, or are you one of those people who's like, ah, crap, here we go?
No, actually, I figured it out. Going to school to be a doctor and everything
Yeah.
and taking nutrition and all that stuff, I kind of really understand the human body. And
Hmm.
I mean, all my weight cuts since I started this sport have been phenomenal. I
Yeah.
feel great. And it's kind of funny because even when I did the Ultimate Fighter, the doctor had to go in and actually watch me take my, I think it was just like our urine sample or
Yeah.
something, because they thought I filled it up with water because
Oh
I stay
no.
really hydrated and do
Right.
things really well. So,
That's cool. Well, so you bring up a couple of good points. I know you're still currently in school, right?
actually, ever since my career started to really kick off, I took a break from it. I figured school will always be there.
Yeah, for sure. But you were going to be what kind of a doctor, or still could be one day?
Yeah, I'm still gonna go back. I love kids, so I was thinking pediatrics, but then at the same time, I was thinking just overall family practitioner, kind of get a wide range of everything.
Very nice. Well, that's awesome. So obviously your career is taking off, and we know that you have a big fight on Saturday night. Ashlee's not your original opponent. You were supposed to face Holm. No disrespect to Ashlee, but I think a lot of us went, ah, crap, because we really
Yeah.
wanted to see that. So how frustrated were you when you heard that Holly had to drop out of the fight?
I was extremely frustrated. I mean, I sat here and went through a fight camp to where I prepared for a southpaw, a world-class boxer, like
Mm-hmm.
somebody completely opposite than Ashlee, and it was just like coming in with this huge hype train behind her.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to take away from people that she's fought or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that, but I kind of feel like Holly hasn't really been tested.
Right.
So I know there's a bunch of haters out there and everything that always have their opinions, but in my opinion, I think that I could have been that ultimate test for her, and I was completely excited. I've never had such a flame under me to
Yeah.
fight somebody the way I did her, and I still remember that day. I finished two intense, crazy practices, like the best practices I probably ever had, and
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling amazing. And then I grabbed my phone and had that text from Sean Shelby, and he was like, "Oh, Holly's injured," and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" So it wasn't fun, but
Did you
hey,
go back and hit more stuff?
yeah, exactly. I mean, with this fight or with this sport, actually, it just throws those curveballs at you. So, I mean, got to kind of just adapt and go with it. So, totally changed the game plan, and here we are now.
Yeah, it's tough because from the fights that you have had, on the Ultimate Fighter and just your other two fights in the UFC. I mean, that's the whole thing is people love. I think really love your style because you let your hands go, and that's what we were so looking forward to with Holly, like you said, to be that test, and for her, obviously with great boxing, but it is always interesting when somebody crosses over who's so good at one discipline, because I have a feeling too, there's probably a part of you who's like, hey, let me show you what a takedown's like, you know what I mean? I mean, not that obviously she's feeling that in training, but you know what I mean? It's like, welcome to my game. I feel like, it's a real missed opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just like you said, with the takedowns and stuff, a lot of people with the Ultimate Fighter, I mean, they kind of categorize me as that brawler and a striker,
Yeah.
but a lot of people didn't know that I had a knee injury going into all that, so it kind of took away from my wrestling and ground game. But I'm a huge submission artist, and especially as an amateur, I mean, I think I had multiple wins in the first round due to submissions. I've done many JITS tournaments and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of taken just different places, doing
Yeah.
all that. So, I mean, I do have a pretty sick ground game that a lot of people have yet to see.
Nice. Well, it's great. You're just getting started in the UFC, so we have time to see the full arsenal. What exactly was wrong with your knee?
It was pretty much everything you could
Yeah.
possibly think of. I got into a hit and run motorcycle accident,
Oh.
and the bike kind of just like really jacked up my knee in every
Hmm.
shape or form, and we never really nailed it because there was so much swelling. And
Right.
with me, I've kind of always been stubborn with my injuries,
Hmm.
so kind of just was like, whatever, I'm good. Wrapped it up, did whatever I had to do, and just continued to push the training, and kind of made everything worse. So
Well, but you're also, like you said, you kind of dealt with your injuries before. Is it true you had a broken back at one point?
yeah,
Jesus. And how
yeah.
did you do that?
Snowboarding.
Jeez, yeah, I feel like you're one of those people, your poor mother and father, they're like, please, Rocky, don't do it. Don't do it.
It's funny. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because I'm practically the only girl in my family. I have nothing but guy cousins. I have a
Yeah.
little brother, and they're like, "You're our only girl, and you stress us out the most. What is wrong with you?"
It's just how it goes, you know?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
let's talk about this matchup then specifically. Now, obviously, it is a different kind of opponent, but where do you see Ashlee being dangerous?
Ashlee comes in, she's ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she likes to do. She just gets in there and she kind of takes it wherever. I know that she's a wrestler and whatnot. I've kind of followed her career since she was an amateur.
Yeah.
So I've seen all her fights and everything. But as fighters, we can break each other down, and coaches, and I've had a coach that's been in this game for a long time now, and I feel like we got a pretty good game plan against the whole thing.
Nice. And are you one of those people that, certainly there's, you got to prepare, and it's nice to know exactly who you're fighting, but are you a person that goes in there with a specific plan of attack, or, are you kind of more of the let me go in here and see what happens and fluid? Because I know some people really like having a very distinct plan, and others don't.
I don't really like to. I like to kind of have, I guess, an image of what could possibly go, but you're stepping into a cage and you're going into a fight. You have no idea what's going to happen in there. So as far as me as an athlete, I love to train all around and be prepared for wherever this fight's going to go. I don't really care. And I like to be comfortable, I'm going to be comfortable on stand-up. I'm going to be comfortable in wrestling. I'm going to be comfortable if it goes to the ground. And I can't control what Ashlee's going to do, but I can control exactly what I'm going to do. And as long as I take control of that fight, then I have no worries.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've talked with actually Jessamine, one of your former opponents, and other female fighters. And, there's one thing that I feel it's not, I don't want to say it's a problem, but, you get this great reputation for getting in there, letting your hands go, brawling, and, that's really what wins fans over. But I feel like sometimes some of the girls go in there and they're not defensive enough. Like, I feel like there's not enough defensive boxing sometimes. I feel like that urge to put on a good show sometimes, and that's important, but I feel like there are women that take too much damage to give damage out. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
They're all of the fighters. I think we all, with the sport, you can never be completely prepared,
Yeah.
You're going to constantly learn. But like you just said there, and that's what I was talking about, like as far as me, I like to be well-rounded. You're going to come across boxers that are going to be way better than you. So you got to be able to defend. You got to be able to react out of all that. And some days I'll go into the gym and my coaches are like, all right, it's just time to get your butt kicked. Defend it and figure out what you're going to do from there.
Right.
And I think also growing up as a huge tomboy and stuff, that's kind of just made me really tough in that aspect. It took me a while to just kind of get used to it. Like, all right, I'm just going to keep my hands up and you're going to wall out on me, or what's happening here? But it works, and it makes a huge difference, I mean, you can sit here and I can box all day, but if somebody's going to beat me on that, I need to have the defense.
Right. Absolutely. Have you been watching The Ultimate Fighter, TUF 20?
I have.
What do you think of it so far?
I've seen a bunch of the girls on Invicta, and we've been around each other, and I think a lot of the girls a lot of people don't realize the pressure and everything that comes with that show. So I think a lot of them are playing very safe on it, but they're doing what they have to do. But let's just say I'm glad that my season had a balance between guys and girls, because there's so much drama on this season. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how they handle it. It's funny, as you say you were a tomboy, and I certainly was too. I played, like 3 sports, and I don't think I got heels until, I don't know, I was 20 something. Like, I really, actually, it's kind of comical, but I've never been in a sorority. The whole idea of living with 15 other women, like, I would go bananas. Like, I couldn't handle it. And it's funny because I feel like, when you watch some of the guys' seasons, they'll like throw the bed in the pool and like, fight each other or whatever. Like, they're much more physically demonstrative of like their problems. Whereas the women, a lot of them, it's like this mental warfare, you know what I mean? This verbal stuff. And to me, that's like way more dangerous in a way, and a lot harder to deal with.
Oh, exactly. I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I guess that's why women can be so dangerous, huh?
I think so. There's always going to be that slightly crazy element in there, and
Yeah.
It's interesting, but we're down. They just had the last couple fights tonight. I don't know if you got to watch tonight. Carla Esparza beat
I'm
Tisha
going crazy in
Torres.
this hotel
Yeah.
trying to figure it out, and so now I'm just gonna have to wait for it to come out so I can look it up online.
Yeah, well, or I can tell you right now.
All right.
Yeah, Carla beat Tisha, and Rose beat JoJo.
JoJo.
Yeah. So Rose won with a Kimura.
Joe and Randa. I mean, Rose and Randa.
So yeah, so the matchup next week means that yes, that Carla has to fight Jessica, and Rose has to fight Randa. So it's exciting, and I've actually been lucky. There's some insider information I get by working at Fox, so I've actually seen it already. It's great.
Lucky.
Yeah, I know it's great, but then it's hard sometimes when I'm talking to people. I'm like, oh snap, what am I? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That feeling when they're like, you got to be quiet, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to talk about everything that happened.
Well, I'm sure you do, and it's interesting too. One thing that I was talking with some of the girls about is that fatigue, though. I mean, and you experience this, and I don't remember exactly how soon your fight was. Obviously, you fight, on the finale and stuff, but that fatigue element, because the girls are saying, okay, well, I trained hard, to try to win my fight to get into the Ultimate Fighter. Then I'm on the Ultimate Fighter and I'm training and I'm working out, I'm working hard. I've got maybe 3 fights, and then I have to go and train for the finale. They said that the mental aspect of that is incredibly draining. The physical aspect is draining, and everything changed. So did you have that experience too? Was it tough for you, no pun intended, after you got out of the house to maintain that excitement to keep going and train for just a regular upcoming fight now?
Oh, it really is. A lot of people, they just don't realize how tough it is. And I think a lot of people you have people out there constantly judging us, like trying to figure out what we do or just talking about what we do. And they don't realize how mentally, emotionally, and physically draining it is.
Yeah.
It takes a toll on you. And we can sit here and have a 8 to 10 week fight camp, go into a fight, and then from there, it takes some time to come down from that, recover, and let your body heal. So on the Ultimate Fighter, when you're doing something over such a short period of time, and not only that, I mean, you're living with people. On my season, we built relationships with those people, and so the emotions that you feel for your own fight, you feel for them when they're fighting. So the whole time it's just, you're so drained. When I got out of the house, I came out with so many different injuries, and then just trying to get back into the real world again, being away from everybody. You could talk to anybody pretty much on that, especially my season. We had a really hard time adapting back into reality and being around people. And it took me quite a while to kind of recover from that. And then when they were just like, all right, the finale's in a couple months, it's just like, how do you go from that? I mean, the fight with Jessamine, I broke my hand in that fight, and then I took the stitches, I messed up my forearm, and then I had 10 days to prepare for Jessica, in which I lost that fight, and then from trying to heal my hand from there, it led into an elbow injury, a shoulder injury, into a neck injury. But they're telling me I got to prepare for Roxanne, so it's just like, when you're trying to push through injuries and you're trying to do everything, I mean, it gets completely frustrating, and at some points it's just like, why am I doing this? Like, this is ridiculous. I can't move. But,
that's the thing, because Beck was saying something like that. That she really lost some passion for a while, because that's the thing, like you said, with being judged. This obviously doesn't happen in a bubble, and then everybody comes, and we know that the way that things are edited can make you look a completely different way from you really are. And I feel like you were probably spared more than some other people. From what I remember about that season, it seemed like you had a lot of people rooting for you, and it didn't seem, like you said, as dramatic and stuff. But I really do feel that, that's this whole other world of social media that is really like hardcore. I don't know. The fans sometimes can really bum you out.
Oh, they really can. I think, a lot of people, they sit there and they just, like I said, it's a lot of people hiding behind computers, talking crap, doing whatever, just judging. But I can guarantee a ton of people, they couldn't put themselves in our shoes for 1 minute to do what we do. And it's just to kind of sit back and go back to your roots and figure out why you have the passion and why you love this or why we're doing this. Sometimes it takes a lot. And I mean, even after those fights, and then when I fought Jessica Andrade back in March, after that, I was like, I went pro in 2012, and I've already fought 9 fights.
Jeez.
And it's just like, that's a ton. I fought 6 of them in a 9-month period, and then I went on to the Ultimate Fighter and did all that. So after that, I was like, I need to find a part of me again. I need to go have fun and just totally step out of fighting. So for the last 6 months, I just went MIA, and I went traveling, went and just found me again, to find that passion.
Yeah.
And it kind of does. It gives you that drive and the motivation to get back into the gym and do things. And I think in that aspect, I come back like a lot stronger. And I think this Saturday it'll show that.
Nice. Where did you go during your travels?
Let's see. I went to California.
Yeah.
I went to, I don't even know. I went to North Carolina. I went to Brazil for 21 days.
Nice.
I went to Florida for like a month and a half. I was just everywhere.
Nice.
Just having a lot of fun, visiting friends. Just kind of, Brazil was really cool.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, did you go down there and fight? And I'm like, no, like, I didn't even go. I went and met what is it, Lyoto Machida? I went his, like, instructor at his, like, backyard gym.
Right.
They would train. And, I mean, I looked at some gyms, but I didn't go in and enroll. I just wanted to see the lifestyle and actually got to work with like the kids and stuff, and just do something completely different than what I've ever done, and kind of refresh my brain,
Yeah, then that's great. That's really great. Well, and I know you're just saying you fought really frequently at one point, but there is a big fight coming up in Broomfield, Colorado. I know you're based out of Colorado usually, and that's that's Valentine's Day. I mean, you would have a little bit of enough time. Is that something that
Bloody Valentine?
Yeah. Is that something you would consider trying to get on that card if things go well on Saturday?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I think it would be great to finally fight in my hometown. Ever since I started this sport 8 years ago, I've constantly traveled, and lucky for me, I have a great family, and I have amazing friends that travel everywhere with me. So I have a huge support system, but I think to be in my hometown, I think it'd be a great thing for the UFC. Probably be a big sellout.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's one fight at a time, and I'm focused on Saturday, and then we'll see what Valentine's Day brings.
Yeah, very nice. Were you bummed, with the shift in opponent from Holly? You did get bumped off the pay-per-view. Is that something that also kind of razzled you a little bit?
Yeah, it's really frustrating, especially for me. I guess as far as my career, you can kind of consider me the dark horse. Everybody's like, where'd you come from? Or I'm not the one that's out there with this huge management to like constantly get promoted and do things like that. And where my career stands today, I pretty much brought myself to it by myself. And just when a lot of people told me I couldn't, I was like, screw you, like, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And then the support of my family and friends, it's kind of been motivating. And then with the Ultimate Fighter inspiring a bunch of people, like, here I am. But to actually have that opportunity to be on pay-per-view, like, it was a great feeling, regardless if it was because of Holly's hype train or whatever. But then it's also frustrating for us fighters because, I mean, it messes with sponsorship deals and all kinds of things like that. And when you're preparing for a fight that is like right before the co-main event, so later on in the night, all of a sudden, like the third fight of the night, it's a big difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was a little frustrating. It was a huge transition, but like I said, I mean, it's going to constantly throw curveballs, and what makes you a great athlete is how you adapt, right?
Absolutely. Well, and you, like I keep saying, you have a lot more opportunity ahead of you, and you did bring up just sponsorship right there. I am curious what your thoughts are on the Reebok deal.
I think it's great. A lot of people are sitting here going on, just judging with it's out of date. What about Nike, all this other stuff? But I think as far as what they're doing, I think it's a great opportunity. And, I mean, they're going to do great things for the fighters. And in my opinion, it's kind of less stress. Yeah, we should be our own people and be able to get things the way we want it or whatever it may be. But at the same time, Reebok's going to provide us with all kinds of things. They're going to provide us with the fight gear. They're going to provide us with weight cutting stuff. They're going to provide us with lounging around stuff with our on it. Like, right there, that's enough, and that's pretty cool. I mean, we get spoiled as it is when it comes to this. So regardless, we'll be taken care of. And I think as far as management and all that other stuff, like, it'll be a lot less stress. So in my opinion, it works out.
I think it's it's also, we were talking about that on UFC tonight. There's something about, what if you kind of take it to another sport, if you looked at football players or basketball players and everybody went out there with like some patchwork of crap all over them, it's the visual noise aspect of it can be a little annoying. So I kind of do, think that, the whole streamlined nature of it could be good. It could be good.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm going to miss seeing dude wipes on somebody's ass. Right?
Yeah, right?
And dynamic fastener. Everybody's like, I don't know what that is, but I see it every fight. So
yeah.
So listen, do you have any predictions for the main event? Obviously, we have Johnny Hendricks versus Robbie Lawler, and in the co-main event, we have Anthony Pettis versus Gilbert Melendez. Do you have a prediction on those?
I think as far as the main event, I got to watch the first fight. That was the last card that I was on back Dallas, Texas. And, you know, kind of in my opinion, I feel like Robbie was robbed from that fight back then. I think it kind of lit a flame under him, and he's been fighting this whole time. So I think he's going to go out there and do work. I think we'll probably see a totally different outcome this time. And, I mean, Gilbert Melendez and Anthony's an impressive fighter, and he always brings something crazy to the cage. So who knows what that guy's going to pull out, but I think he'll probably walk out with the victory that night.
Yeah. All right, so one keeps his belt, one loses his belt. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. Well, listen, I really do appreciate you taking the time today, and you know, just wish you the best of luck. And really, honestly, based on what you did on The Ultimate Fighter, I was an instant fan, as I know a lot of people were. I think you just have a great style out there, and very crowd pleasing, which isn't the most important thing in the world, but certainly we do appreciate it when we see it, and it's just fun. I mean, you know, it's so different. You know, I was always a fight fan, you know, but it is different when you see women out there, and you're like, I can relate to that much more. I mean, it's funny because it's bad in a way. I'm like, damn, I know how much that would hurt. Oh my God, you know. But it really is exciting, you know. I feel like there's so many people that are getting to live vicariously through you, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks. I definitely appreciate the support, and it was a pleasure talking with you.
Cool, awesome. Well, good luck to you on Saturday, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll see you.